Rolling. Yep. Far away.
How do you get your head around that?
It was a bit unpacking that one. Even though the scoreboard early was in our favour, especially at half time, I didn't think we were playing the brand of footy we wanted to play, and we're getting smacked in the midfield. Third quarter was a bit more the way we wanted to play, and then I thought early in the last, we had opportunities to put them away, and we didn't. We left the door open, and what was plaguing us in the first half, came back to bite us late for the last 20 minutes, probably of that last quarter. We couldn't win a centre bounce. Lost territory, and then our backs couldn't hold up anymore, and the damn wall burst. So, incredibly disappointed. Obviously, players are disappointed. One that got away.
What's your theory on what was going wrong there in the midfield? Because it's been such a strength for you this year.
Yeah, well, they came to play. I thought, when they get their hands on it, they're really efficient at getting to the outside, and we couldn't win it at the source, and we couldn't stop them getting to the outside. Our centre bounce was that, and then boundary throw-ins and ball ups were following the same trend. So changed structure at half time, which I think helped us, but we got to work. Obviously, some of our leaders started getting their hands dirty, and led to more inside 50s in territory, and I think most of the day we were able to cash in on that. So, when you allow them to win it, and you don't pressure the way you wanted to pressure, you allow them to get to the outside, and they're a dangerous midfield.
What were some of those structural changes that you made that seemed to turn that you can share with us, obviously?
No, you can have a look at them. Like it's not rocket science. They probably went back to some of the things we've been implementing throughout the year.
You had Erasmus in the middle for the majority of the first half. No Fife playing that role that Fife's played so importantly. Not having that playing that defensive position and being the taller midfielder, was that a real loss for you today in hindsight?
Don't know. It's hypothetical, really. Maybe, and maybe not having some of our senior players, our captain Fifey, Sonny, a bit of our experience out there late, to steady the ship would have been handy, but we didn't. So it's a hard one to answer.
Was one of the moments that you talked about earlier a few minutes ago, just late, for instance, like the Jeremy Sharp kick on the wing when Jackson in the one-on-ones, those moments just to keep you, I guess, composure in moments like that, I guess? Yeah,
we've been talking about there's an efficiency standard that you can measure yourself against, but we want to measure ourselves a bit higher than that, because an effective possession can be not helpful to your teammate and send them in the right direction. I just thought late in particular, and our kick was pretty late. Like, we missed some opportunities there to execute and help our teammates and send our teammates on their way, and clearly hit the scoreboard. There's probably a couple earlier than that where I thought we should have tied our work off. I thought they were extremely good at buffering our pressure inside forward 50. I thought their backs were able to, when the ball hit the ground, were able to buffer pressure and find it composed, and thought they handled that part of the game better than we handled it.
Did you feel that you may have gone in your shell a little bit early in the final quarter? Like, you got up by 25 points. Did you possibly go into game save mode a bit early?
Possibly. I was probably more worried about our ability to get the hands on the ball. We felt like we couldn't get possession of the ball there for a while. I thought they were tougher than us. I thought there was times when we could have, our ball security could have been better, and we let it out. And when a team's got nothing to lose and they're throwing caution to the wind, and it's hard to stop them getting goal side. And like I said, it put our backs under pressure, and we weren't able to hold up.
Seen final quarters in close games. The Hawthorn game was 5-1 against. The Sydney game, which you won, was 3-1 against. And this is 5-2 against, all in close ones. Is that a concern for you?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's something we've been working on. We've been doing a lot of scenario play and trying to tidy that up. But it comes back to the contests. Like, if you can't get your contest method right and you allow the opposition out the front, it's really hard to defend. So we'll go to school on this one again and take the lessons and hopefully be better in that situation next time.
Was that last clearance, just to follow up, that last clearance kind of symptomatic of what you felt the issues were
throughout the game, the way they got that quick clearance out and scored?
Yeah, I thought they were pretty dominant at centre bounce, and there's a period in the first half where they're dominant, and I think it was 5-1 centre bounce in the last quarter, and it just puts you on the back foot. So not only that, I think they kicked 4-4 from centre bounce. So yeah, it was a problem area.
Justin, the MCG, you don't get to play at the ground too often. Obviously, this was the second time that you played here this season. What did you learn in terms of the way of game style that you want to play for when you come back here next time?
I don't think the ground really played a part in it. And the Optus is a very similar size, and we're able to use width at Optus as well. So I don't think today was down to the ground. But we feel like our game style holds up well here. I think we've won our last 3 maybe before this, and we're 20-something points up late in the last, or in the last quarter. I don't think it was a ground issue.
Did you look at the other?
Yeah. So I was just going. Did you feel almost like in the first half it was your deadly forward efficiency that was keeping you in the game, maybe masking over what was happening further?
Oh,
up?
absolutely it was. Yeah, absolutely it was. And not really the game we wanted. I think the positive is that when our midfield isn't giving us supply, we're able to move the ball a lot better than we have in the past. And I think there's probably our ball movement and connection and efficiency going forward that shone out in the first half. It's not really the way we want the game looking, but I think it shows some progression in our game to be able to play that way and still be in a game even though your territory isn't going your way.
Winning your third, losing your sixth, it's dramatic, the swings at the moment. How do you approach the emotional side of that?
Well, we've been talking about the scenarios for a while now, and I think our players have largely been handling that pretty well. Melbourne was a do or die last week. It was a derby, and large periods we handled it well today. It's just it's like pointy end of the season. Probably the games mean a little bit more, and what we're trying to do is just normalise it and trying to focus on our footy rather than the scoreboard. So it's going to be important this week. We've got a 6-day break against another team near the top of the ladder. So they're all important, but can't focus on the outcomes. We've got to make sure we focus on our process, and I think largely our players have been pretty good at that. I think he just got a corky or a knock on his knee, so fingers crossed he pulls up well.
You mentioned earlier it was obviously a big opportunity you lost, as we heard already. You're down to 6 instead of 30. How important is it to really, I guess, the mental side to get the players, not to get too down on it's a fine line. We've got to review it and learn from it, but we just make sure we can't hang on to that too long. And same would have been if we had a won. Like, don't hang on to it too long. Take the lessons, get better in those situations next, and we need to move on pretty quick.
Caleb Chiron played his 100th game today. How did you assess his game and the other young midfielders? Because at times when they did get on top, they did look impressive.
Yeah.
You did have the game on your turn.
Yeah, you're right. And they were able to adjust pretty well in there. And I thought, like I said, they got their hands dirty. I thought Caleb's third quarter was outstanding and allowed us to get the game played where we wanted. Yeah, he's a super player. He's, if he was playing for a big Melbourne club, he'd probably get more recognition for his first 100 games than he has. Not many players have, not that it's all about possessions, but I think it's the 71 games with 20 plus, is it? Did you have 20 plus today? I mean, look at the stats. 20 plus shows the level of consistency in a young player that, we haven't seen before. So, it's a byproduct of the work he does during the week on his game and on all aspects of his game. So, pity we couldn't get it done for him.
Take some heart for the way your tools were able to share the load up forward, like multiple goal kickers, and they looked like they worked well off each other. Yeah,
I think our forward line's been functioning well. They're creating space for each other, providing good options to the mids, and our efficiency has been good for a number of weeks now. So I thought our forward line again functioned pretty well offensively, a little bit work to tidy up defensively, and we just across the 4 quarters didn't give them enough supply.